everyone. Welcome to the Simply Soccer podcast. What is this? The third we've done since we've returned? I hope that's right. Anyway, today we're going to be going over a topic I'm, again, very passionate about. I mean, that's mainly what these podcasts are for, to kind of give you guys some self-improvement tips and to discuss in further depth topics I believe should be discussed in further depth. So a few announcements. So today it's just going to be a podcast. I am working to get podcasts and videos out on the same day. I'm just trying to organize everything. So this will be another day where it's simply just the podcast and we'll have a video out tomorrow. We should have had a live stream on Friday. I'm just trying to get everything together so that we have a pretty consistent schedule. Because you'll notice I missed a few days last week with videos because I had some things going on I had to take care of and just wasn't able to do any. So that's why that happened, okay? So today, I figured it'd be a really good time to discuss something that I've started getting back into, actually, somewhat recently. And I believe that if you don't do this, it's really hindering your ability to grow, to succeed in soccer or really any area of life. Because, I mean, one of the things on these podcasts that I want to do is not just discuss things that would benefit you soccer-wise, but also discuss things that would just benefit your life in general. I think as you grow as a footballer, you'll also grow as a person and vice versa. You know, there are certain things that they're tied together. Like discipline in life is going to help you with discipline in soccer, things of that nature. So today, I want to talk about morning routines. Why having a morning routine is incredibly important. In my eyes, one of the most powerful habits, most important habits you can develop. And remember how we talked about having powerful habits in the last podcast, I think 2 weeks ago maybe, or was it last week? I don't remember. But we talked about how having that one thing, that one powerful habit can change everything. Or essentially having that one powerful habit, what it does is it makes certain other things unnecessary or easier. And that's what you want to choose. And I think morning routine is actually something like that. I think it's one of those incredibly powerful habits that if you can develop a really good, beneficial morning routine that gets you not only ready for the day, but also contains within it things that just help you grow. I think that it can change your life. I think that it can really transform you as a footballer. I think doing that consistently is only going to make you a better person. It's going to make you more successful. It's going to help you grow more. It's going to help you, again, as a footballer, improve your fitness, your health, all of these things. And of course, we're going to go over why and all that as well. But yeah, something I fell out of was actually having a morning routine. And I've gone up and down with this, but I can tell you that every time I've fallen out of it, I've been able to compare what my life has been like with a morning routine, how I felt with the morning routine, and what it's been like and how I felt when I was not doing my morning routine consistently, or it was like up and down, like I would do it some days and not other days, or when I was just not doing it at all. So I'm going to tell you kind of what the difference was, and I'm also going to tell you, I mean, you should be able to kind of deduce from this why it's important, but I'm going to tell you some things that I recommend having in a morning routine. I'm going to give you some different morning routines that I've learned from successful entrepreneurs, or I've learned from looking up successful footballers, professional footballers, I should say, their morning routine, or just people who are operating at a high level, who are getting a lot done, who are moving towards their dreams, who are living the lives of their dreams, because ultimately I want to obviously live a life that I'm happy with, that is aligned to what I believe my purpose is, or aligned to what I want to do. And I'm sure you want to do the same. And I think developing a morning routine is incredibly important. So here's the difference for me when I've had a morning routine and when I haven't. So when I haven't had a morning routine, we'll start with that. You know, I feel kind of like discombobulated when I wake up. I feel very disorganized. I don't exactly know what I'm supposed to be doing. I kind of feel all over the place. And if you know me, I really like structure in my life. I don't naturally have an inclination towards structure, meaning I don't naturally just put structure into my life. I have to be very conscious about it and actually like stay on top of it, because if I don't, I'll fall out of it, right? You know, I didn't really have anyone that helped me with structure when I was a kid, or helped me to, you know, utilize my time or teach me ways in order to structure my life. I didn't have that in any form, really. I kind of had to learn it as I got older, and later on. So when I wake up and I don't feel I have that structure and I feel all over the place and I'm like, I gotta do this, and this, it all falls apart for me. So I found that when I wasn't doing a morning routine, that's something that would happen. Because in my morning routine, one of the things I would do is I would have what I was supposed to do today. I had like my schedule. I had all these things just ready to go. So that was one thing. I would wake up discombobulated, confused, and I would waste time, trying to figure out what I was going to do. Second, a lack of energy. One thing I love about morning routines is it really helps energize you and kind of get you ready for the rest of the day, whether you have to go to work, whether you've got something else going on. For me, it's, getting prepared to make videos, or getting prepared to do something for SimplySoccer, or do some freelance work, or whatever it is. All I know is there's a huge difference between when I start work after coming off a morning routine and not coming off a morning routine. When I'm not coming off a morning routine and I get into work, it's kind of like a labor. It's kind of like I'm struggling. I'm just like, going through the motions. But when I have that morning routine under my belt, I notice that I'm energized. I'm moving around. I might even be dancing around or singing or something. Like I have a bundle of energy because the things I've done in my morning routine have helped me to develop that energy, or at least not develop it, but to bring it about. Whereas if I don't do a morning routine, it's not there. What I've also noticed, because this is kind of the immediate results I've noticed from not having a morning routine and from having one thing I've noticed on a consistent basis is when I've consistently not been doing a morning routine is I've been much more negative. I've, again, been very disorganized. I don't get as much done. I put off things until later, and when I put them off for too long, I end up not doing them at all. Where when I'm doing a morning routine, a lot of those things I might actually do in the morning routine itself. And it's just overall breaking my consistency in other areas. Because one of the things you have to realize with like positive habits or positive behaviors and actions is positive actions lead to more positive actions. Negative actions lead to more negative actions. You can literally start a chain reaction, I found, in your life by just starting on some good things and going from there. And I find a morning routine is a great way to do that because successfully going through your morning routine, you start with these good habits, these good things, these things that ground you, that get you prepared for the day, that energize you. And so for the rest of the day, you're going in with that feeling, with that emotion, with that drive, with that excitement for the rest of your activities and the rest of the day, where if I would wake up without a morning routine or I felt rushed, I'd be taking that feeling and that energy into the rest of the day, which, as you can, probably guess, isn't the best thing to be doing. So I noticed that more on a consistent basis. I was more negative when I didn't have my morning routine. I was falling out of habits I'd been developing very well. I was more prone to engaging in negative behavior because my willpower wasn't that strong either. I found that doing a morning routine increased my willpower, the energy. So that's some of the things from not doing it. So here's some of the things from doing it consistently that I noticed. One, you pick up momentum very quickly. You start to get into this rhythm of getting up, doing your morning routine and getting on with your day and just being more productive and utilizing your time. You have more energy, like I said. I've noticed I would have a lot more energy. And I've been doing my morning routine again now. I've gotten back into it, and I'm doing different things to make sure I don't fall out of it. And I've noticed more energy. Not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint as well. I felt more mentally sharp. My mind, it feels more energized as well. It's not just my body, right? I've noticed that. I feel happier. There's something about getting up at a good time, getting a solid morning routine in, and then going about your day. I just feel happier, more energized, more happy. I get more done. There are certain things within my morning routine that help me set myself up for the day and also help me get certain things done that I need to get done early. So I get more done. I'm more organized. Because during my morning routine, I also, although I'll schedule out the night before, I'll also go over things and go, okay, this is a priority, this thing can wait, but if we get this done, we can go on to this thing, and I quickly write that all out. I also journal which gives me an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish today, how I'm feeling. So by the time I'm done my morning routine, I'm feeling positive, I'm feeling energized, I'm feeling ready and prepared. And as you can tell, if you take that into the rest of your day and you do this consistently, remember this builds and stacks. Imagine doing this every single day. You're just going to start having productive, happy, positive days after days. And of course, there'll be blips in there. And there have been when I've been doing morning routines. But I found that generally it's positive. Okay, so that's basically what my experience with morning routines are. I mean, there's probably other things that I could cover, but that's the general idea. So by now you should be convinced, 10 minutes into this podcast, that having a morning routine is incredibly beneficial. So let's first go over what you can do as a soccer player in your morning routine in order for it to benefit you. And then we'll go over, some things you can do in general or things that I recommend, right? Because a morning routine isn't supposed to take you like 2 hours. I generally recommend about an hour. You can take longer as well, like depending on when you get up. Like right now, my aim is to get up at 6, and then I'm moving it back to 5 gradually instead of doing it all at once. I used to get up at 5 a while ago, but I've fallen out of it, so I'm kind of like baby steps to get back. 6, then probably 5:30 for a few weeks, and then 5, so my body can get used to it. So why is this important as a soccer player? Because obviously, first and foremost, this is a channel for soccer players, for footballers. This is incredibly important for a few reasons. One of the main things that you want to do in your morning routine is exercise. It's probably actually the first thing you want to do. It's the first thing I do. When I get out of bed, I put my shoes on. I have them already prepared, like I have them by my bed, all the clothes I need to wear, and I go out and do a workout. And that workout always includes, or usually includes, something soccer related. Some dribbling drills, some ball control drills, whatever. And this is important because you will get better, especially if you're a beginner or you're new. But even if you're not, by doing this every single day, it's going to stack. It's going to build. You're going to build momentum. Like, you're going to be doing other drills throughout the day if you have practice on that day or whatever. But this ensures that I always get touches on the ball every single day. Even on days even on a rest day where I'm not going out and doing crazy drills, throughout the regular day. I can get my morning routine. I can do a quick 15 minute workout, get my blood pumping, get touches on the ball. I'm not tiring my body out at all. I'm not hurting my rest day by doing it, but I'm getting touches on the ball. I'm increasing my energy, and I'm not breaking my momentum. And I think that's what the important thing is. Remember, by playing every single day in some capacity, you're building momentum. So what should you focus on as your exercise? So I don't always just do soccer exercises. I have a little cardio thing. Sometimes I'll go for a run as well. Sometimes I'll have a body weight workout I'll do, but I'll always do something soccer related as well, usually. So what can you do? Well, I always think in this case, you want to do something that, one, doesn't require much equipment because you're about to just hop outside and do something, right? And two, I think you should be focusing on the fundamentals. The better you get at the fundamentals in anything, the better at that thing you're going to get overall. Meaning the more you practice the fundamentals of soccer, the better a player you're going to be. It's just the fact of the matter. You look at any top professional player, one of the reasons they're the best, or one of the best, is because they have mastered the fundamentals or have come close to mastering the fundamentals. One of my favorite players, Zinedine Zidane, when he was playing, I liked him not because of the magical things he could do with the ball, but it was because it was so simple. Like, he was a player to me who truly had mastered the fundamentals of football. His ball control was sensational. His dribbling was sensational. He never really did too much fancy moves, The Maradona you could consider kind of fancy, the roulette move, but I don't really think it is. It's 2 drag backs and a spin. And he had mastered all this, and he was just so elegant watching him play. And it kind of made me realize when I got older that the fundamentals are what are important. The flashy stuff isn't important. The fundamentals are. So in the morning, I recommend you work on your things like ball control, your dribbling, and other fundamentals that will help you in actual games, right? So that's the first thing I would start with. So What I will usually do after that is I'll take a cold shower. This you do not need to do this. This is just something I do. There are a lot of benefits from taking a cold shower, and I would recommend it. But I mean, this is not something you need to do. But I have my workout, then I shower. Then I do something to train my brain. I do something to, work out my mental faculties and not just my physical ones. So I actually, if you've ever heard of Lumosity, I actually do that for about 10 minutes, which is like brain games, like memory stuff and all that. So that kind of works out my brain a little, gets my mind, functioning today, gets it sharp. Then after that, I'll go over my schedule for the day. So I have like a little planner. I'll go, okay, priority, what's on the schedule, all this. I'll have that. Then I might do like some reading. Sometimes I'll read in the morning, not always. Usually Lumosity is enough for the mental kind of sharpness or sharpening for my morning routine. I'll usually read later in the day. So after the schedule, I'll do 10 to 15 minutes of meditation. Now, this is another really big one I recommend. Again, this may not be directly soccer related, but this will help you more than you know in just not only soccer, but everyday life. You can do visualization instead, like that visualization technique. I actually did a video about it on Thursday. That technique, you do that technique every morning, you're going to start seeing the benefits of it. I'm telling you, you do that for just 10 minutes every morning during your morning routine. You're going to see incredible results. I'm telling you this flat out. If you do that every morning, meditation or visualization, visualizing yourself playing the best you can, just think about your next upcoming match or whatever. And you do that every single day for 10 minutes, you're going to see results. I'm telling you right now. It's going to take a little bit. You got to do it consistently, like I said, every day in your morning routine, which you will be doing every day, but it will absolutely help you. So I'll do that, meditation or visualization for 10 to 15 minutes. Many benefits of that. And then I have affirmations I'll say very quickly, and that'll be about it for my morning routine. Then I'll get into whatever I have. Usually I'll have scheduled it out, like I said, during my morning routine. So it'll be like SimplySoccer work, creating a video, responding to, whatever it is. I'll have my priorities first, right? And that's how you want to do it. So that's my morning routine. So it's workout, shower, Lumosity or train your brain, mental workout, my schedule, meditation, affirmations, get on with the day. And by the time I'm finished with that last thing, which is usually affirmations, I am so ready for the day, more ready than I could have ever been if I just rolled out of bed and started. And the thing is, when you're more in that you have more mental focus, you have more energy, you're going to get more done throughout the day. Like if I just rolled out and started my work early, even though I may have an hour head start than I would if I had just done my morning routine, I guarantee you I would still get more done having gone through my morning routine and being an hour behind than I would than just rolling out and trying to get right into it, because I wouldn't be as focused. My mind would not be clear. I wouldn't have as much energy, and eventually that would catch up to me. The work I would do would not be the quality that I would want it to be. And all that stuff. So that's my morning routine. Now, there are many different ones you can do. Like yours is going to be different than mine. I value certain things probably differently than you do. My priorities are probably different than yours. My day is going to be different than yours. You may have school, for example, meaning you don't have as much time. Maybe you can only do a 30-minute routine. Maybe it can't be an hour. Maybe you can only do 15 minutes. The point is you need some kind of morning routine habitualized, because if you don't, it really is going to hurt you. You look at most successful people. You don't have to just look at soccer players, but you can if you want. I mean, they have them too. But you look at a lot of the high level people, and the reason they are so high level isn't because they're doing anything secret or crazy or anything that's beyond the norm. It's beyond the norm in the sense that most people don't do it, but it's not something beyond the norm where you'd be like, oh, that's weird. You would just look at them and go, oh, wait, they just have rituals and routines. Their whole day is like rituals and routines. How are they being successful? Because they're doing that for such a sustained period of time that it's building momentum. Their perseverance is allowing them to be successful in the areas. They're challenging themselves. And morning routine is a part of that. It really, it really is going to bring about results for you. It really, really is going to help you get more done during the day. It really, really is going to set you up just to have a good day. Okay. So what I would recommend you do is here's what you want. Here's like a kind of foundation for what your morning routine should be. One, you want some form of exercise, some form of movement. It doesn't even need to be exercise. You go for a walk, but you need to get your body moving. You can't just wake up, sit right back down and journal and then get into your thing. I mean, you could, it'd be better than doing nothing, but you want to exercise in some capacity or move in some capacity first thing in the morning. And no, walking to your kitchen or bathroom and back does not count. I mean, physically getting outside or physically doing some like body weight exercise, whatever, and moving. So this can be go for a walk. There are plenty of successful people who do that as well, where like one guy I follow, Robin Sharma, I believe a part of his morning routine is he goes for a walk in the woods near his house and says his affirmations. Again, I mean, that's actually a really good one because it gets him around nature and there's a lot of other stuff that goes into that as well. But again, he's getting moving. He's doing his affirmations, setting himself up for his day mentally. And then he'll come back and I think he does other things like journal. He might read or he does one or the other. I don't know it all the way through, but actually, he does get on an exercise bike as well. So there you go. There's his exercise as well. But the thing is, start getting in the habit of moving right away. Get the blood flowing. Remember, the physical and the mental are connected. There's a reason after you exercise, you have a ton of energy, which helps your mental focus and faculties as well. So you want to make sure you're doing that. There's a groundhog right outside my window right now. What's up, buddy? So yeah, you want your first thing to be exercise. Okay, so no matter what it is you choose to do, I want you to pick something exercise related. Even if it's for 5 minutes, even if you can just do some sprints for 5 minutes or jog, or I even have an app with a 7-minute workout that it has like all these different 30-second workouts for 7 minutes, and it gets my blood pumping. So if I don't have much time, I'll do that. Right? So there's always something you can do. So start out with exercise. And you want to also, if you're a footballer, which I'm assuming you are, you want something soccer related, even if it's just juggling for a few minutes as a part of that workout. Get some touches on the ball in the morning. Some days maybe you won't be able to do this, but for the most part, prioritize that. Get some touches. Trust me, this may seem insignificant right now, but over time, if you develop this habit, which I really hope you do, really encourage you to do, that will start adding up, those touches in the morning along with your training that you do later in the day. It really will add up and it really will benefit you. Okay, so after exercise, I take a shower. You don't have to. You can wait till later. I don't know, whatever it is. But after that, if you're not going to take a shower, you want some kind of mental training now. So we've worked out. We've worked out your body, or I haven't worked out your body. You've worked out your body, or I've worked out my body. Now it's time to work out our mind. So we want some kind of thing that's going to work out your mind. Maybe you like Sudoku, maybe you do a crossword, maybe you read. Reading's a good option. For me, it's Lumosity. It's brain training games. Now, you don't need to do that. I would recommend it. I like it. But that's just my personal preference. It could be read. You just read for 10 minutes. A book. Make sure it's a book where it does stimulate you. It's a book that makes you think. It's a book that gets your mind going, right? Books like Flow and Peak and Spark and, things of that nature will help with this. Like I like to do some kind of self-development book. Think and Grow Rich, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, whatever it is. Some kind of book of that nature that's going to challenge you a little bit intellectually and get your mind going. Here's a great one. Read a biography from a famous footballer, Ronaldo, Messi, Sir Alex Ferguson, Jose Mourinho, whatever. Have a book like that to read every morning if you want to keep it soccer related, okay? So after that, what I will do is plan out my day a little bit. Again, this is something I recommend. But, maybe you do this differently. You plan in a different way. This will be different for everyone. But after I've exercised myself mentally, plan the day. That's what I do. And after that, meditation. I recommend even if you are going to plan the day, I do recommend you fit meditation or visualization in there in some capacity. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, Now, I'm saying even if it's just for 5 minutes, that's not an excuse for you to make it only 5 minutes. I still want you to try and aim for like at least 10 minutes. I found that's a really good sweet spot. Um, but you can do visualization as well, right? And that's what I would say. If you want to do something really soccer specific while you're doing this, do visualization for 10 to 20 minutes as a part of your morning routine. Visualize yourself playing fantastically. And remember, think of the effect of imagining yourself playing perfectly every single morning for 10 minutes. Every single morning you're doing that. Think of the effect that will have on you and your confidence and your self-belief. Trust me on this one. This is one I don't want to, not give this thing the credit it deserves, because that could be a very powerful habit you develop. So that's what I would recommend. Like, it's not even that much, but you'd be surprised how much these just little activities you do in the morning will affect the rest of your day. You're setting yourself up. You're preparing yourself for the day to have a great day, a day that's productive, a day where you improve and you grow. And really every day you want to be growing in some capacity. And doing this morning routine will ensure that you actually do every single day, right? And of course, you'll be doing more throughout the day. This is not an excuse to then do nothing throughout the rest of the day. This is simply to set you up. But, over time, especially as you develop this into a habit, you're going to see the benefits. Now, that was my template for a morning routine that you can do. And I recommend doing fill in the blank basically for exercise, mental exercise, scheduling, and then spiritual. It doesn't have to be meditation. It could be something spiritual. You could, if you're religious, it could be pray for 10 minutes. If it could be something else. It doesn't matter. But, pick something like that. Meditation for me, or visualization. Okay. Now, again, you don't have to actually follow this template. All I really want you to take away from this podcast is that you should develop one. Is that you should develop some routine, some morning routine. It's going to be better than none. And again, I do recommend this kind of format where you exercise physically, mentally, and all this other stuff. But again, there may be something else that's more beneficial for you. I've just found that this works generally. Okay? So start brainstorming. Start writing down what are some things you could do in the morning when you first get up that would benefit you and help set you up for the rest of the day. I really think this is one of the most important habits. In fact, I mentioned, I think, the one thing in the last podcast about how you should be trying to create that one thing, that one powerful habit. And I had you guys write down what that would be. For me, morning routine was one of the things that I wrote down. It's one of those things that I knew if I could really solidify it as a habit, really ingrain that into my head, really make it a part of me, that it would change. It could, and probably, it has actually in the past changed the way I act, function, behave, and it's made other things easier. Remember, you want to pick a habit that's going to make other things easier or unnecessary, right? And I really think having a morning routine is an incredibly powerful one to have, and that's the one I'm currently trying to have. Like, it's kind of a habit for me right now, but it's not as much a habit as I would like it to be. Meaning I'm going like hard with it now. I'm going like, I want 90 days straight of this. I want this to really be solidified as a habit. And that's how important I think it is. So write down some ideas for your morning routine. Write down, you could just write down as much as you can and then narrow it down. I like to keep the morning routine within an hour. An hour is actually perfect for me if I can keep it within that hour. It can be less. It can be even more. There was a time when I was doing a 2-hour morning routine when I was getting up at 5 a.m. And it worked well. Like, it actually did a lot of good things. But I think it's a bit overkill at that point. You really only need about an hour to get it all done. Okay? So that's pretty much what what I wanted to say during this podcast. Another good one to have is a night routine, but I'm not going to really cover it. We're already at 30 minutes pretty much, so I'm not going to go into that. A night routine is just something I would do like 45 minutes before bed in order to ensure that I'm going to bed calm, relaxed, ready to sleep, stuff like journaling, reflection, all that. But I think, again, morning routine, incredibly powerful habit for you to develop, and definitely start coming up with ideas. All right, guys, so thank you so much for listening. I know this is not actually a question any of you guys asked. I just think this was a very important topic, or is a very important topic, so I wanted to cover it. So in the comments, again, let me know your questions or what you want future podcasts to cover. We're going to do hashtag morning routine. That seems appropriate. So hashtag morning routine. So if you listened all the way to this point, let me know by putting hashtag morning routine down in the comments, either with your question or anything else you want to say. Or if you don't really have a comment, just put hashtag morning routine by itself. And what this does is it allows me to know that you listened all the way through, and it helps me identify which people are serious about their growth, are serious about improvement. And it lets me know who, basically is listening to the whole thing of all of these, all the way through to these podcasts and is actually committed to growth. And I like to be able to know which people these are. And also because if you do, I prioritize you. That's just the fact of the matter. If you're willing to listen to this, to actually learn, to actually grow, you're my priority. You're the person I want to help the most because you're open to the help. You're willing to grow. You're willing to evolve. So put that down there. And if you do have that hashtag, it's much more likely I'll answer your question or use your topic. And I think the podcast on discipline was a suggestion from someone who listened all the way through. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Get working on your morning routine. Again, it's just so important. I mean, I've just gone over 30 minutes of why it's important, so I don't need to say that again. Put that hashtag along with your question or what you want the next podcast or future podcast. Doesn't have to just be the next one to cover. And again, thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next, or not see you, but I'll talk to you in the next podcast, and I'll see you in the next video.